This week we're going to finish up this bird sketch that we started last Friday. In last week's video, this is the point that we got up to. The head and the wing are sketched in, so we're just going to finish the rest. And since this is a part 2 for the smaller group of you guys that are here, thank you so much, and I really hope that this one's helpful. First thing up is this wing on the left side of the body, and I want some really dark values in here, so I'm using that normal reduction of paint, which is about 8 parts paint to 2 parts distilled water. And I'm starting this wing by painting in some very dark outlines along the outer contour. And you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just following my graphite lines underneath. I'm spraying around 25 psi. My airbrush is relatively close to the surface. And I'm just trying to pull a little bit farther back on the trigger to spray some more paint to get these lines in nice and dark. Once I get a few of these painted in, I can clean up the edges here to help sharpen them up a little bit more. So you can see I'm using a soft eraser and just working on the left side of this line. All I'm trying to do here is just remove some of the paint that kind of sticks out from the line. This way I can sharpen it up and refine it. And like I talked about in last week's video, this just makes it a lot more forgiving for me, because if I do make a mistake with the airbrush while I'm painting in a few of these lines or shadows, I can always fix it with the eraser. So I continue adding in those lines, and I'm going to paint a wider one within the center, and I just hold my airbrush a little bit farther back from the surface. I do the same thing to fill in the left side of it and extend that shadow down to the bottom, and then just to the right of that, where there's an area that's slightly brighter, you can see I sprayed less paint in there. So that area is still in shadow, it's just a little bit lighter than the area to the left of it. Now I didn't mask off the background along the left side, so there's a fair amount of overspray back there. So before I go any further, I'm going to use a soft eraser here and just clean it up. Not only am I removing the overspray and a few of my grid lines, but I'm also cleaning up this edge because I painted it a little bit too far out to the left, so I'm just erasing it to the right. Now I'm going to fill in the top part of this wing, leaving a little gap at the bottom where we have some light hitting it. And what I'm doing here is very simple. I'm starting on the left side, I'm spraying air the entire time, so my trigger is always in the down position. And as I start a stroke with the airbrush, I just slightly rock the trigger backwards so it sprays paint. And then at the end of that stroke, I push the trigger forward. This way I don't get a barbell shape at the end of each one of these. And then I continue those overlapping strokes just to fill in a light area of black paint within here. You might notice that a few parts of this look a little blotchy because I accidentally sprayed too much paint in a few areas. That's going to be just fine, because what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to use my eraser to draw in a few of the highlight shapes. Basically, just a few lines and dashes in here so I know where the highlights are going to be on a few of the feathers. And then just like before, since I didn't use a shield, I want to clean up the overspray, so I'm doing that with the eraser. Now I'm going to add another value of dark paint right over the top of this. Remember, this is a monochromatic painting, so the more layers of paint, the darker it's going to be. I sprayed in a bit of this freehand, which of course is going to create some overspray in some areas where I don't want it. So if you want to prevent that, you could do what I'm doing here, using a freehand shield to mask off areas where you don't want paint. Then I line this up with my drawing and spray some paint to the right. Now you can see here, because of the first layer, I didn't mask it off, so there's a bit of overspray to the left of it. If I used my shield in the beginning, I wouldn't have to deal with this, so I'm going to use my eraser here and just clean up some of the overspray from that first layer of paint that I sprayed over. That's why when you're painting with an airbrush, something like a shield or a mask is so important, because an airbrush naturally gives you overspray because it's atomizing paint. And sometimes it's actually surprising how far overspray can move from the area that you're painting to other parts of the painting. So a way to prevent that and to avoid any sort of contamination is to use a mask or some sort of shield. But because this one is a much quicker sketch, I'm using my shields a lot less than I normally do. And then to finish up this wing, you can see here that I used that aggressive eraser. It was sharpened to kind of like a chiseled point, and I just drew in a few of the highlights and a few hatching lines at the bottom to give it that sketch look. From here, we're going to paint in a few of the dark feathers within the chest, and I decided to go for a stylized look with this one. So for these dark feathers, essentially just the very bottom of them, you're going to see me painting in a curve, almost like a V shape. I drew in the lines with a graphite pencil before adding the paint on top, and you can see that I'm just going to follow this pattern all the way up. It's essentially just a light shadow value at the bottom of each feather, and I'm leaving a ton of negative space within here. I'm going to spray a little paint to darken up the values just below the beak along the upper left-hand side of the neck, and then I'm just going to add a few little squiggle lines to the right before it goes into those darker values. Now before I add a glaze of paint over the top of this, I'm going to come around with my eraser and just kind of clean up these edges and sharpen up a few things. I noticed a few parts of these looked a little blotchy, so I can make a pass over it with the eraser just to help lighten up some of those darker areas within here. And once that's done, I'm going to add a gradient in here, a slightly darker value along the bottom, and it gets lighter as it moves up to the top. So I'm doing this freehand, spraying a little bit of paint at the bottom, kind of like a V shape here, and as I move the airbrush up, I spray less paint. And you can see that just gives a gradient in here. It's the darkest value at the bottom of this V shape. That's where I sprayed more paint. It gets a little bit lighter as it moves up into the mid-tone. And then finally on top, I sprayed no paint at all. That moves up into the brightest part, which is the highlight. So a very simple gradient, just glazed right over the top. Now you can see what I'm doing here because I did that freehand. I need to clean up the overspray. There's some darker paint at the bottom, so I just remove it with that soft eraser. Now I could leave it like this, that's perfectly fine, but I wanted to add a little bit of texture in it. So you can see I'm using my soft eraser here to just draw a few vertical lines going up, just kind of break it up a little bit. It's completely optional. I just thought it looked a little bit too smooth just with the airbrush. Now from here, I'm going to switch over to that over-reduced version of paint because I want to paint in a few of these values a bit lighter. So this one is about 3 parts water to 1 part paint, and I'm starting this one out just by adding a little bit more of those textures like I did before, just kind of like the bottom part of each one of these feathers. A stylized look, of course, super simple to do, just painting in the lower part, kind of like a U or a V shape for each one of these. And before I go any further down, what I want to do here is paint in a very light cast shadow. It's just to the left of this larger wing on the right side of the painting. So what I'm doing is using the airbrush freehand, spraying a little bit of paint to the left side of the wing. It's kind of tough to see with this first layer, but you can see it better in the completed painting. This section right here, it just makes it look like this wing is casting a shadow within the body of the bird. I'll continue painting some of these simple feathers in. It's almost like I'm painting scales. And then for this thinner line along the bottom, just going to paint in the contour like I showed earlier. I use the airbrush pretty close to the surface and I just spray small sections of a line at a time. There's also another outline along the lower right hand side here, so I want to paint that in as well. For that wings cast shadow, I want to sharpen up the edge of it. So you can see I'm using a soft eraser here and just erasing along the left side. I remove a little bit of paint along the left side and you can see how much sharper that makes that shadow. So it's just another way to get a sharper line in without using a freehand shield. And then I'm just kind of working around in a few areas, scuffing up some of the paint with that soft eraser. Some areas just looked a little bit too smooth, so this is a simple way to break it up. Now I'm going to add another bit of a shadow and a gradient in here along the lower left hand side of the bird using that over-reduced paint, and again spraying around 25 psi. Along the lower side of the body, I'm spraying some more paint in there, getting some darker values. I just make a few more passes over the top of it with my airbrush, and then I focused a bit more along the very bottom here where it almost looks like a triangle. There's a few bits of paint that I need to clean up with the eraser, and now I'm going to add a shadow here on the upper part of this leg. See, I use the airbrush freehand just to spray some paint in there, and then I'm using that eraser trick like I showed before to sharpen up the left side of it. And it's one of the reasons I like using an eraser, not only for textures and blends, but I can also use it like I did here to give myself a sharp edge. This way I'm able to get that in without using a freehand shield. So from here we're going to move down to the legs and the feet, and the first thing I'm doing here is painting in a sharp line along the left side of this leg. And to spray in a thin line like this, the key is proximity, meaning the airbrush being close to the surface. That's the number one thing. And the second thing is trigger control. So I'm spraying air the entire time, and then as I start to move my airbrush, I begin to rock the trigger back just a little bit. And then at the end of the stroke, I push the trigger forward, but air is spraying the entire time, and I just painted in kind of like a bunch of little dashes here to give myself a continuous line. If you struggle with this with your own airbrush, one of my favorite things to practice is just writing out your name in print. Just keep the airbrush close to the surface and practice starting and stopping those lines. Eventually that trigger control will become second nature. It happens a lot quicker than you might realize. It's just something you got to practice though. There's no way around that. So let's move along to the next part of this one. That's going to be the feet. Now this is going to be a really good exercise in painting thin lines because there's a ton of outlines here. And just a reminder, like what I talked about in last week's video, outlines like this are going to flatten the image. It's going to give it a stylized look, make it look a bit more like a cartoon than a realistic image. You can see for this first foot along the left side, I painted that outline first, the airbrush very close to the surface, and I'm spraying around 20-22 psi here. I'm using that over-reduced paint for this first layer to keep everything light, and then I sprayed in a shadow along the lower side of this foot. Even though it's a sketch and kind of like a cartoon style image, a little bit of shading here helps give a bit of depth to the painting. Once I get that in, I painted a few curved lines along the top of this, make it look like there's just a little bit of texture in here, and then I painted the outline of the claw. I'll start at the bottom, paint the right side in first, and this is just like what I talked about before. I'm essentially painting a bunch of little dashes here that connect. Very, very similar to sketching in graphite or charcoal, and then once I get those edges painted in or those contours in, I fill in the center with this paint. We're going to go much darker with this value later on, but even for this first layer, I want to just lightly pull back on the trigger so I'm not spraying too much paint. I want to continually move my airbrush so it doesn't look blotchy in here. Once I get that down, I'm going to use my soft eraser to draw on the placement of this small highlight along the left side. And from here, I'm just going to follow that exact same technique, going from foot to foot with this over-reduced paint, starting first with the outline, adding a bit of shadow in there, and then painting the claw. You'll see me using my eraser in a few parts here. That's just to clean up the edges, kind of sharpen them up a little bit, and also pull out the highlights on the claws. So now once I get these outlines and a few of these textures painted in with that over-reduced paint, what I'm going to do here is switch over to that normal reduction of paint, which is about 8 parts paint to 2 parts of water. And I'm going to use this paint to start spraying in the claws. You can see how much darker this goes on. I'm pulling a little bit farther back on the trigger, so I'm applying more pigment onto the surface. More pigment is a darker value. I also used my eraser to pull out some highlights along the left side of the feet, and if you watched last week's video, this is the same technique. I started with a light value first, got everything in place, and once I was happy with the placement of the values and the outlines, then I switch over to the less reduced version of this paint, spray it on darker. And the main reason I like to do it this way is that it just makes it a lot more forgiving for me, because if I make a mistake with that lighter paint, it's so easy to fix and remove with the eraser. You can see I also use that darker value along some of the outlines to add just a little bit more weight into the shadows. For this tree branch, I'm going to use a ripped piece of paper as a shield, so when I spray over it, some of that deckled edge texture gets transferred over to my panel. I'm just following my pencil lines that I've sketched in underneath, and you can see what I'm doing is just trying to focus on some of the shadow areas first. Along this bottom branch, I line up my shield, spray some paint up, and then I also painted in the outline of it to give it that cartoon look. So a darker outline is going to flatten this branch. And then just above some of those shadows, I use my eraser to remove some highlights. For this branch along the right side, I'm going to use 2 pieces of paper as a double mask. So I'm masking off that little branch that just kind of sticks out, and then the lower part of this large branch. I'm using that paint with less reducer, so about 8 parts paint to 2 parts reducer, and just spraying it lightly in this area to give myself a shadow in here. And while I'm doing this, I'm making a few more passes at the bottom part of it to make that area darker. Then I sprayed a light amount of paint just to the right of this middle foot to make it look like it's casting a shadow in here. It's a softer edge on both sides, so I just did this freehand. For the right side of this branch, this is pretty straightforward. I'm starting out first with a piece of paper to mask off the lower part, and then I spray some paint up. And I focus a little bit more paint at the bottom to make it look like that area of the branch is in shadow. Once I get this in, I'm going to paint in some lines freehand with the airbrush, then also use that ripped piece of paper to spray over a few other areas for some sharper lines. That way we just get some variety in here within the shadows. And then like always, I switch back over to the eraser to remove some highlights in between these shadows. I know I had the video sped up here, but that was probably about 4 or 5 minutes of work, and it's already starting to look like a convincing branch. It definitely has that cartoon look, but that's what we're going for. For these feathers below the branch, you can see I have all my lines drawn in, so those are going to guide me. I'm using that over-reduced paint, and I'm using a piece of paper to mask off the edges where I spray some paint in. This way I'm filling in some value within the major part of the feather itself, and then spraying a little bit more into these darker areas. So I just pull a little bit farther back on the trigger to spray those in, keeping some distance from my airbrush to the surface so I get softer edges. And while I'm doing this, I'm also lightly glazing some paint over the top just to cover up some of the white of the claybord. So again, this is the same process as I did before. I'm starting with the lightest values first, slowly adding more paint, getting darker and darker with it. Now moving along to these final feathers within the very back, the value in here is almost pure black. So to speed things up, I'm just going to switch over to some paint directly from the bottle. I want to work on getting the edges in first, so I'm going to use a double mask again, mask off the feathers to the left and the branch just above it, and then spray some paint down into this area. Masked off the right side with another shield. Once I get this in, I'm going to spray the rest in freehand, just cover up a very dark value within here. Now, I didn't mask off the lower part of this, so again, I'm going to go back over to that eraser to clean up some overspray, and then I'm going to use an eraser sharpened to a very sharp point and draw in these highlights within here. You can even see it in the video that my pencil lines are clearly visible right through this, so I'm just drawing right over those lines. And then for the feathers on the left side, I'm going to use that same paint right from the bottle and spray a little bit more into these darker areas within the feathers, just doing it freehand, and then lightly applying some paint over the top of this whole area to help darken it. Once those are down, I'll use my eraser to draw in a few of the highlights here, keeping it loose and simple. Along the left side of this branch, I want to paint in this cast shadow to the right side of this middle foot. So I'm using that paint that's reduced about 20% with water, just spraying this in freehand. You can see I have my pencil lines there, filling in an even value of paint. This way it makes it look like this osprey's foot is actually sitting on this branch. It's casting a shadow there. It's not just kind of like cut out and pasted in. And I'll spray some paint right over the top of this and use the eraser to start drawing in some highlights in between. And that's pretty much it. You can see for the left side of this branch that I'm using a piece of paper as a freehand shield, lining that up, spraying in some of the shadows first. That way I get a very sharp edge where I spray over that paper. Then I lightly glaze some paint over the top of it so I have something to erase into. And then finally I use that eraser in between the shadows for the highlights. So that's the full tutorial. That's all the techniques that I'd use for an airbrush sketch like this. This is what the final painting looks like. Nice and simple. It probably took me maybe an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you all so very much for being here. I hope you picked something up that you might want to use in your own work in this 2-part tutorial, and I hope that you try it out for yourself because it's a fun one to do. For a sketch like this, it's a great opportunity to practice, experiment, try a few different things out because you're really painting these just for yourself. And of course, if you need any help with it, just leave me a comment down below. I'll be happy to help you out and make sure you're having fun with it. That's the most important thing. And before I go, just like always, I want to say thank you so very much to the very generous support of the current channel members scrolling up on the left side of the screen. And I'd also like to give a warm welcome to the newest channel members this week. That's Leslie, William J, and Ryan T for rejoining. Thank you guys all so much and welcome to the channel. Take care everyone, be well, and I'll see you back here next time.